Hi viewers, I am Ignacia Silvarani, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE at Coherence College of Engineering Technology. So, in this video, I am going to discuss about coherence relations. Actually, this is the subtopic of natural language processing. So, what is natural language processing? So, natural language processing is a branch of artificial intelligence. It is a very emerging technology used nowadays. Language processing is a combination of computer science, artificial intelligence and linguistic language computations. So, actually this is the outline of this presentation: coherence relations, common types of coherent relations, discourse structure parsing, and what are the applications of discourse relations or coherence relations. As I said earlier, the natural language processing is a branch of artificial intelligence. Actually, it is a study of intersection of computer science, AI and linguistic language computations. So, natural language processing makes the machine to learn, understand or read or write the human language. So, what is human language? So, human use the linguistic language to communicate to one another. So, there are thousands of languages are used by the human for the communication nowadays. So, actually natural NLP is a very growing or blooming technology in this current era. So, what is coherence relation? So, coherence relations also called as a discourse relation. So, actually discourse relation describe how one part of sentence or class relates to another. So, actually why we need to relate the sentences to form a logically and semantically coherent one. So, actually the NLP is used to process the textual data. So, sometimes the data may be in a voice format. If we have a voice format, the voice data so converted to text data, then processed by the NLP. So, in this case textual data may be in the document format. The document, each and every document contains some paragraphs, each and every paragraphs contains many sentences. So, sentences formed by some combination of words, each and every word formed by some combination of letters. So, actually here while we forming the sentences in the text data, the each and every sentence depends on the another sentence. This dependency may be related as, that means that a relationship is identified as a different type of relations. So, what are the relations among those sentences are we are going to discuss. So, there are some common types of relations. I will state it later. So, actually discourse relation or coherence relations is used to describe how one part of a sentence or text relate to another to form a coherent and connected sentence in the NLP. So, at the outcome, the discourse relations help us to answer the following questions like why did this happen, or what happened next, or how does this detail support the main idea. So, these are the common coherence relations. So, here the relationship among the sentence may fall in one of the relation: cause, contrast, elaboration, temporal, condition, example or purpose. So, we discuss elaborately one by one. Cause, one sentence causes another. For example, he was tired, so he went to bed early. So, because of the tiredness, he went to the bed early. Then in contrast, two ideas are opposite or compared. The two events or two ideas are compared with one another. For example, she loves coffee, but he prefer tea. Coffee and tea are two extreme. Actually, she loves coffee, but he prefer tea. It gives some contrast, opposite meaning. So, that is why the relation is contrast. Then elaboration, So, in elaboration type of relation, it adds more detail or explanation to the upcoming or previous sentence. For example, I bought a car, specifically a red Honda Civic. The second sentence elaborately explain or describe the car which is bought by me. So, okay. Then the next relation is temporal. So, here this is time related events, one event after the another one. So, for example, she finished her homework, so then watched TV. So, she after finishing her homework, he watched to TV. That is related to time or some sequential action. The next one is condition. One class depends on another due to the condition. It is the condition true, some action will happen. If the condition is false, some action will happen. That means event may happen. So, the event occurrence of event depends on the condition. So, for example, if it rains, we will cancel the picnic, otherwise we continue the picnic. The next one is example. It illustrates a general points. See this example, many animals hibernate, for example, bears too. For example, girls usually like golden ornaments, for example, earrings, bangles, bracelets, likewise. In order to give examples, we can use the relation called example. Purpose, one action is intended to achieve the goal. That means one sentence, that means the next sentence will be the maybe the goal, then first sentence may be the steps to achieve the goal. For example, he studies hard in order to pass the example. In order to get the pass mark in example, in order to get the pass mark in exam, she studies hard. See this example, Tom missed the bus, as a result he was late for school. However, the teacher did not mark him absent. So, how many sentences are there? There are 3 sentences. Tom missed the bus, then as a result is a part of our text pan, maybe is used as a connection in this case. He was late for college, then the third sentence is the teacher did not mark him absent. So, in this example, so what are the coherence relations may be identified? Tom missed the bus and he was late. These 2 sentences have a cause relations. Why? He was late because he missed the bus. Then the relation between the sentence he was late and the teacher did not mark him absent. So, actually if he late, the teacher usually should mark absent for him, but teacher did not mark him absent. So, it gives the opposite meaning, that is that is why here the relation identified is contrast. So, if I add one more sentence here, teacher directed him to meet the principal. What type of relationship will come here? The sequence, that means consequence. What is the consequence action is? He directed to meet the principal. So, next one is discourse structure parsing. So, it is a process of identifying how sentence and classes in a text related to each other to form a coherent and logically connected whole things. Actually, this is the processing used to identify the relationship among the sentence in a text document. Okay. So, actually it goes beyond the sentence level analysis. Actually, it focus on the inter sentence relationship. Actually, it focus on the inter sentence relationship like cause and effect, elaboration, contrast, sequence. So, like that. Okay. So, actually discourse structure can be represented in 2 main frameworks. There are 2 main frameworks to represent the discourse structure. One is rhetorical structure theory, in short RST, Penn discourse treebank, in short BDDP. Okay. Discuss one by one in detail. First one is rhetorical structure theory. Okay. So, in this case, in this type of framework, each and every sentence or class are represented as EDU, that means elementary discourse units. So, each and every sentence or class are represented by the unit called elementary discourse unit. So, actually each and every sentence or class is analyzed here how it is connected with other via the discourse relations. So, what are the discourse relations? For example, cause and effect, contrast, like that. So, here in order to identify, otherwise in order to process this coherence relations, we use the framework called RST. Okay. So, here RST can be represented as a discourse tree. So, usually tree contains some set of nodes and edges. So, in this case, so nodes represent the class or sentence span, which is called EDU in RST. Then each and every edges represent discourse relations, that means such as cause and effect, elaboration, contrast, condition, like that. See this example, John was hungry, he went to the kitchen, he made a sandwich. So, there are 3 sentences in this example. So, here we may form the tree structure. So, in RST, a node represent the elementary discourse unit, edges represent the coherence relation or discourse relation. So, here sentence is a John was hungry is one of the EDU. The relation among these 2 nodes, John was hungry and he went to the kitchen, because of the hungry, the John went to the kitchen. So, here the relation is the reason, that means cause. And then next sentence, he made a sandwich. Okay. So, once get into the kitchen, he made some sandwich to have. So, that is the consequence or the next action what John did in the kitchen. This is the tree structure represented by the discourse tree. So, next one is PDDP, then it is Penn discourse tree bank. Okay. So, actually it is a large manually annotated corpus of discourse relation in English. It is usually especially for the English language, a large set of relationship contained to identify the coherence relations in the English language. So, here the Penn disclosure focusing on the explicit and implicit connectives. Here explicit connectives, what is explicit connectives means? So, explicit connectives represent words or phrases that easily show the relations. Here the relationships are identified by some connective words such as, for example, because, when, since, although, or, and, but, as a result of, perhaps. So, like that by reading the sentence, by identifying these words, we come to know the relationship among the, that means there is some connections among the sentences. So, implicit connectives, it represents relationship that are suggested but not directly stated. Here the relationships are suggested but not directly, that means explicitly stated. See this example, the bank refused to fund Michael, his record were incomplete. So, actually because there is no words, connective words here, there is no relationship explicitly stated, but we identify that because his record are incomplete, the bank refused to give a fund to Michael. Okay. So, here the connection is implied but not explicitly stated. Okay. So, there are 3 there are 2 connectives used, implicit or explicit. Implicit are the words or phrases that clearly show the relationship, but in a implicit there are indirectly stated, the connections or relations are indirectly stated. See this example, because the weather was bad, the game was cancelled. So, actually This is a example for explicit connectives, because the word used because it stated the explicit connectives. So, in BDTP the sentence would be analyzed as follows. The explicit connective is a word because. So, here the sentences are split into arguments. So, there are two arguments, argument and argument 2. So, the first sentence, the weather was bad, is a argument 1, the game was cancelled is a argument 2. So, why the game was cancelled? Because of the bad weather. So, in this type of relations, that means in this type of discourse structure is represented by the Penn discourse tree bank. So, finally, we discuss the applications. So, there are 4 applications for the discourse relationship: summarization, dialogue system, text generation, reading comprehension, or questionnaire. So, summarization helps to identify the key points. So, summarization, when you give some number of pages of document, we ask the system or computer to summarize the topic as a one paragraph. So, in this case coherence relations are used to identify the key points and structure in a document. So, in dialogue system it maintains the coherence in a conversation. So, the dialogue means it happen in between two peers or two person. So, there must be a relation between, that means coherence, that means compatibility between the two person. So, that is why the coherence relations is needed in the dialogue system. Then also text generation, in this case it enables better structuring of paragraphs and essays. Then finally, reading comprehension, it is used to understanding the discourse, improves interference across the sentences. So, these are the applications of discourse relations. Thank you.